Welcome to our deep dive on how to strategically allocate unexpected cash. We will move step by step from first actions to long-term growth, ensuring smooth transitions and clear priorities. Here is the roadmap for the video. First, we will start with immediate actions, then move to debt strategy, followed by mortgage considerations. Next, we will build stability, then transition to long-term growth. After that, we will view example allocations and a practical timeline, followed by short quizzes, and finally wrap up with key takeaways and a disclaimer. To begin, deposit the entire windfall into a high-yield savings account. This preserves liquidity and starts earning interest right away. By doing so, you create a buffer that gives you time to plan without the risk of impulse decisions. Now, with cash secured, we can transition to the most impactful use of funds. This flowchart maps the recommended sequence. First, move cash into a high-yield savings account, then inventory debts. If high-interest, non-mortgage debts exist, prioritize eliminating them. After that, build an emergency fund to cover 6 to 9 months of expenses. Next, create a sinking fund for expected near-term costs like a vehicle purchase. Then, maximize tax-advantaged accounts before contributing to a taxable brokerage account. A side branch addresses mortgage prepayments, noting that if the rate is low or you plan to move within 10 to 15 years, you typically should not prepay, because liquidity and flexibility are often more valuable. Pausing gives you liquidity, which allows you to earn interest while you decide. It also provides a behavioral buffer to prevent impulsive spending. Most importantly, it preserves optionality so you can allocate money to the highest impact areas once you have a complete plan. With that foundation set, we can transition to the most mathematically powerful move. Follow these steps in order. First, move the entire windfall into a high-yield savings account. Second, compile a list of debts, including balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. Third, prioritize paying off high-interest non-mortgage debt, such as the referenced $42,000 in educational or consumer loans. Fourth, generally avoid making extra mortgage payments if your rate is competitive, or if you expect to sell within 10 to 15 years. Fifth, expand your emergency fund to cover 6 to 9 months of essential living expenses. Sixth, set up a sinking fund for foreseeable large expenses, like purchasing a used vehicle next year. Seventh, contribute to tax-advantaged accounts, including Roth IRA and workplace plans beyond the employer match, before investing in taxable accounts. Eighth, allocate remaining funds to a diversified taxable brokerage, consistent with your risk tolerance and timeline. Finally, be mindful that once windfall funds enter joint accounts, they typically become marital property, which has legal implications in many jurisdictions. With the plan laid out, let's compare paying debt versus investing right now. On the left, paying high-interest debt delivers a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate, provides an immediate improvement in monthly cash flow, and reduces risk from debts that may be difficult to discharge. This is frequently better than keeping cash in a savings account or investing in the market when interest rates on debt are high. On the right, investing is appropriate after high-interest debts are eliminated and a sufficient emergency fund is in place. When investing, prioritize tax-advantaged accounts because market returns are variable and not guaranteed. This illustrative pie chart shows a possible breakdown. The largest slice goes to high-interest debt, followed by emergency fund top-up. Then comes the sinking fund for the anticipated vehicle purchase. The next significant allocation targets Roth IRA and other tax-advantaged accounts, followed by a smaller allocation to a taxable brokerage account. A very small portion is reserved for a one-time celebration to acknowledge the milestone without derailing the plan. Your exact percentages should reflect your balances, tax-advantaged space remaining, and the size of your windfall. Generally, avoid large voluntary mortgage prepayments when your rate is competitive, or if you anticipate moving within 10 to 15 years. Equity accrues through regular payments. Meanwhile, liquidity provides resilience against emergencies and flexibility to seize opportunities. With mortgage strategy clarified, let's quantify the safety net you need. This table outlines emergency fund targets. A minimum cushion is 3 months of essential expenses. Optimal stability is 6 months, and extra caution extends to 9 months. For example, if essential monthly expenses are $4,000, a 6-month target would be $24,000. Now that stability is addressed, we will fund upcoming known expenses. Sinking funds are dedicated buckets for predictable expenses. Identify major purchases in the next 1 to 2 years, estimate the total cost, and set a monthly contribution to reach the goal by the deadline. Keep these funds in cash-like vehicles, such as a high-yield savings account, to preserve capital. With near-term needs handled, we can pivot to long-term growth. For long-term growth, prioritize contributions to Roth IRA and other tax-advantaged accounts before adding to a taxable brokerage account. Choose diversified, low-cost index funds that match your risk tolerance and time horizon. After setting your allocations, automate contributions to maintain consistency. Next, we will place these steps onto a timeline. This timeline places the plan into the first 90 days. In the first 3 days, deposit into a high-yield savings account and list all debts. By day 14, eliminate high-interest non-mortgage debts. By day 30, strengthen the emergency fund. Between days 31 and 45, establish the sinking fund for the vehicle. Between days 46 and 60, maximize Roth IRA and other tax-advantaged accounts. Finally, by day 90, configure your taxable brokerage and turn on automation. Then, review progress. Question: what is the very first move after receiving a windfall? Options are: 1. Deposit into a high-yield savings account to stay liquid and earn interest. 2. Buy a high-upside stock. 3. Make a large extra mortgage payment. 4. Hold cash and physical bills at home. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to deposit into a high-yield savings account to maintain liquidity while earning interest. This sets the stage for rational allocation decisions. Question: which debt should you aggressively pay off first? Options are: 1. High-interest non-mortgage debt such as credit cards or costly student loans. 2. A low-rate fixed mortgage that you might refinance later. 3. A 0% promotional loan with months remaining on the promotion. 4. No debt at all and invest everything immediately. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is high-interest non-mortgage debt. Paying this off provides a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate and improves monthly cash flow, which strengthens your entire financial plan. These are the key takeaways. Prioritize liquidity in a high-yield savings account. Pay off high-interest non-mortgage debt. Usually avoid prepaying low-rate mortgages when mobility is likely. Build a strong emergency fund and use sinking funds for near-term needs. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts before taxable investments. And remember marital property rules when depositing funds into joint accounts. Here is a concise checklist you can copy and apply. It follows the sequence we discussed and reinforces the correct order of operations. Next, we will summarize and then provide an important disclaimer. To summarize: pause and maintain liquidity in a high-yield savings account. Pay off expensive debts for guaranteed returns. Usually avoid prepaying a low-rate mortgage. Build a 6 to 9 month emergency fund. Use sinking funds for expected expenses. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts before taxable investing. And remember that depositing into shared accounts can convert funds to marital property. Now, let's close with a brief disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute tax, legal, or personalized financial advice. Consult a fiduciary financial advisor and a qualified tax professional before acting. Rules on marital property, debt dischargeability, and account types vary by jurisdiction. Thanks for watching. If this walkthrough helped, please like the video, share it with someone facing a financial windfall, and subscribe for more actionable finance content. In the comments, tell us how you would allocate a windfall and what step you will tackle first.